Hey, it's Max here. In this little tutorial, I will show you how you can make a loyalty card with your chatbot. So earlier this week, I had somebody ask me, Russell, he owns a cafe, how he could reward loyal customers. So, and the usual, like the old school way to do this is to give somebody a card and then they can stamp the card. And then when they have like a full card, they can get a free coffee. So then we came up with this. It's basically the same, but then it works completely inside your chatbot. So somebody is going to collect points in the chatbot, and when they have a certain amount of points, they will get a message that they get a free coffee. So this is really cool, and the big benefit of this is also that you start building your list, and you can also make them come back to your cafe. So I've made this little sheet for you here to explain you the whole thing. I'm also going to show you the flows. So first of all, I would like to explain for who this is. So I think this is really cool for offline businesses, and it's just one example. There are lots of possibilities. And in this example, I've grabbed a cafe, and with 10 points, you can grab a free coffee on the house. So really cool. So let's just dive into it. So how can somebody collect points? So you probably already know the messenger codes. Those round codes that you can scan with your smartphone, and then you go to a certain point inside your chatbot. So it's like a growth tool that you can make inside ManyChat. Really cool. And we're going to make that every time they scan the code, that 1 point will be added. And the 10th time that they scan the code, they will get a message that the next coffee is on the house. And we'll also make that the score will be resetted when they receive 10 points. You could also do it differently, that they reach 10, 20, 30, 40 points. That way you can maybe also see who are your most loyal customers, and even give them like special surprises when they reach like 40 points, for example, or 50 points. So that's really cool. I'm also going to show you a way to make people come back. So when they do not scan a code for 2 weeks, you could send a piece of content. The only thing that you have to be really careful here is not to send any promotional content. You're not allowed to do this. Please read Facebook policies about this. Like, you don't want to get your chatbot banned. So do not send any promotional content after the 24-hour window. So let's just dive into the flows, and I can just explain you the whole thing. So then we go here. So this is the first flow. So this is basically the flow that will be activated when a customer scans one of those codes. So let's just start right here at the starting step, And as you see here, this will increase the point by 1. It's actually really simple to do. You don't need any difficult calculations or zaps for this. So you can just create an action, and then you can make an action, and you can have a custom field, and you can increase the number of the custom field by 1. The only thing is that the custom field has to be a number. So in this case, the name of this custom field is score. It is a number, and then I can increase it by a certain amount of numbers, or or I can decrease it, or you can set the number to a certain level. So that's it. Then it will go here. So I'm going to explain you this later. So it's going to unsubscribe and subscribe somebody from the reminder sequence I'm going to talk about in a bit. And this is basically what they see. This is the first message they get. Thanks for coming by today, Max. And then we go here, and then here it will basically check if they already got the explanation. So the first time they scan it, they will go here, and then it will say like, hey, you just received your first point. When you have 10, you get a free coffee on the house. And this is also an excellent moment to tell something about your cafe. Also tell them here that they can unsubscribe by typing stop from your messages always. It's also a policy of Facebook. You need to tell people that they can unsubscribe. And I think it's also cool if you already ask somebody like, hey, is it okay if I keep you updated on events in our cafe? So it's like a kind of subscription. And then if somebody says yes, it will be like, hey, great, blah, blah, blah. We will send you a message once or twice a week for something that's going on in the cafe. And if they say no, then it's also fine. So code gets scanned. Then we'll be sent this. Thanks for coming by. today. Then it will check if they got the explanation. If not, you can send them a separate message. And the second time, they will already have this tag. And then you can see that the condition, so this condition is basically like a question. So it asks here like, hey, does this subscriber already have this tag? Which is added here. So the first time is no, tag gets added. Second time, the answer is yes, they will have that tag. So then we just go over here, and then you see here this condition, which is basically checking how many points they already have. So it's like kind of a question like, does the subscriber has a score that is greater than 9? So if yes, then they get a message saying like, hey, cool, you've collected 10 points. Next coffee is on the house. Just show this message to the barista next time you order a coffee. And then with this action, their subscriber or like their score will be resetted to 0 or at least cleared completely. So that way it can start over again. And if not, so if they don't have more than 9 points, then they just get a message saying, you currently have, and then this is a custom field, you currently have X amount of points. At 10, you get a coffee on the house. And this you can also use again to tell something cool about the cafe, maybe a little video about the cafe or something about how it's built, like just some examples. So this is actually pretty easy. So after this video, you can also just import this, play with it around. So let's just dive into the reminder now. So that's basically this. So when somebody scans the code, then this happens. So first, they get unsubscribed from the reminder sequence, and then they get subscribed to the reminder sequence. So what it basically does is that it's going to restart the sequence. So I will just show you that. Let's go to the sequence overview. So this is the sequence with the reminder. And as you see here, it gets sent after 14 days between 8 and 12 in the morning. And then here, excluding Sundays, because maybe they're closed on Sundays. I don't know. It's just an example of what you can do with this. And then if you just go to this flow, you will see here the flow. Or not, let's refresh this page. Let's edit. There it is. Okay, I had to edit it. So here it is. So those 14 days will start as soon as this block gets activated. And you don't want to send this if they just came yesterday, right? So what we're doing here is that we're unsubscribing them from that sequence. So that way it will start again with this, and it gets subscribed again to the sequence, and the 14 days will start again. I hope you get it. So let's go to this sequence now. So this is like the reminder sequence that basically says like, hey, you didn't come for a while. I want to say again here that you have to be really careful to not send promotional content with this. Like they can really ban your chatbot, like Facebook really doesn't like if you do that. So please read their policies. And I have this little condition for it, which is actually really powerful, and I will bet it's going to help you lots. If you are doubting about something, if it's promotional content or not, then you just use this. So this is a condition, and this condition checks if the last interaction was less than 1 day ago. So within the 24-hour window. And then if yes, you can basically send whatever you want. You can send promotional content. But if not, then you cannot send promotional content. So I've also created an extra block for that here. And you should share something or ask something that is not promotional. So for example, earlier we asked them if they wanted to subscribe to the events in the cafe. And if they said yes, you could also, after this, or instead of this block, send them something cool about the cafe. And after that, you send them an offer to get them back. So I hope that's clear. Really read Facebook's policies. I cannot say it enough. You really don't want to get your chatbot banned. Don't send any promotional content out of the 24-hour window. Just send something of value first. something that's not promotional. And if you doubt it with anything, you can always just send me a message or just check it with Facebook or with the manager support. So cool. And then here, so we had the valuable content that's not promotional, and then we'll go to like, hey, and before you go, Max, I have a little surprise for you. Do you want to know what? And then like it's like a conversation, right? So somebody can say yes or no. So I think most people will click yes here. And then I have something else cool. It's another condition. Like this, now you also see how powerful conditions are. So this condition is basically checking how many points they already have. So how many times did they already come for coffee? So here you see, is the score greater than 5? If yes, then they get this message. And if it's 5 or less, then they get this message. So here they just get a brownie, and here they get a second coffee for free if they bring a friend. So I hope that this gave you some inspiration. I think you can really do lots of cool stuff with this for offline businesses. Like this whole chatbot thing is not just for online businesses. You can also use this for like Wi-Fi codes. So somebody can scan like a code on the table, and then they get the Wi-Fi password inside Messenger. And yeah, I think this is just really cool. Like you've learned now how you can collect points, like how you can add points to a custom field. Here how you can send different content the first time. So mention here if they were not subscribed before that they can always unsubscribe. Maybe tell something about the cafe or yourself, and you can also ask them if they want to subscribe to some of your content, like events in a cafe in this example. So I hope this was useful. Please keep in mind that you cannot send any promotional content after the 24-hour window. So if you want to start sending reminders like I've made here, use conditions like this to check if they had interaction in the last 24 hours. And if not, then you should not send promotional content. Share something of value or share something that they are subscribed to. So that's why it's also so important to ask right in the beginning if they want to subscribe to things like events or tips or news, something like that. So good luck with this. After this video, you can download all these flows and just play around with it